Hey, Dr. Osborne here in the Gluten-Free Society newsroom. Today I want to talk about some recent research published in the journal Environmental Research on common chemicals found in household items that actually have been now shown to increase the risk of developing celiac disease, both in children, males and females alike. Now, these chemicals, you might know them as terms like Teflon. They're the things that coat your nonstick pans, the sprays on your carpet and furniture that prevent them from catching fire, chemicals that coat clothing to help them become more waterproof. So it's these chemicals that were actually being studied. So there are a handful of different ones that were being looked at. One group was called PFOAs, perfluoroalkyl substances is what that stands for. Another group of chemicals called dichlorodiphenyl dichloroethylene, or DDE, as well as another type of chemical called polybrominated diphenyl ether, or PBDEs. These substances, again, all been shown to increase the risk for the development of celiac disease in both children, male or female. Now, why is that important to understand at this time? Number one, it's really easy to change out your cookware. It's really easy to try to avoid buying clothing or articles that contain these chemicals to minimize your exposure. But you're also going to find these chemicals on the inside of kind of cardboard coatings. So if you buy things, for example, if you do takeout and your takeout meal, that coating, that shiny coating or lining, again, that prevents the food, the water in the food from leaking out and dripping all over. That's what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about those cardboard linings of things. But particularly in this time where many of you might be wearing masks as a tool to give yourself some degree of protection from COVID-19. Now, you should understand that the surgical masks, these standard surgical masks, are sprayed with these chemicals. You should also understand that the N95 masks that are also being recommended, so the non-surgical but the N95 masks, also being sprayed by these chemicals. So if you're out and about several hours a day with that mask directly over your face, you're breathing in these chemicals that could potentiate or could increase your risk for the development of villus atrophy, meaning the damage to your small intestines, which can lead to vitamin and mineral deficiencies, malabsorption, and all the consequences and sequelae that come from it. But look, folks, additionally, these chemicals have also been linked to cancer and immunosuppression. So aside from celiac disease, aside from that risk of developing celiac disease, remember these chemicals in these masks also been shown to reduce immune function, to lower immunity. So what do you do instead? If you want to wear the mask, if you feel the comfort of the protection of the mask, my advice would be to find a mask more like what many are doing with bandanas or just general regular cloth and tying around the face, because many of these are not going to contain those chemicals. And so again, protecting your immune system and making sure it works strong for you during this time is important, but also reducing your risk of immunosuppression and reducing your risk for developing celiac disease, in my opinion, equally as important. So we don't want to trade good for bad, and that's what this proposition gives you. So if you're wearing a mask, again, if you're wearing the N95s or the surgical mask, consider swapping those out for some natural fabric, natural cloth, to avoid getting exposure to these very toxic and dangerous chemicals that are linked up to immune suppression, cancer, and an increased risk now for celiac disease. Hopefully this news is helpful for you as you endeavor to go gluten-free and change your diet and lifestyle. This is Dr. Osborne from the Gluten-Free Society newsroom wishing you excellent health.